samasta sukino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
May all beings everywhere be happy and free.
Isn't it funny? We always refer, I believe. But who's that I? Or I don't believe. Or I agree. Or I disagree. Who is that I that we refer to? Okay, we've experienced body. The body experience, heat, cold, pain, discomfort, all these different sensations that we experience through the body. So it experiences life through a certain way, which is the senses, the body. Then we experience our second layer is mind. Okay? So the mind experience questioning, trying to determine what is what, sorting out what's a threat, what is not. What's very important is the first two is very connected to survival. So the body experience something, the mind make up a story about it, taking your background, like we talked last week, putting a whole story to it, and then we say this is the experience. Okay. Then there's a third one, which we call, essence, or in some forms, people, religious backgrounds will talk also about spirit. Okay? Being, a lot of different ways to refer to it. Okay, so that's the three layers. But when we say, who is the I that believe this? We are referring to what? We try to refer to the essence, but that's the problem, it's not. We refer to the mind. And people learn to live from the experience of the mind and body, which is survival, but never learn to live from essence. To experience from essence. To experience something for just what it is right now. And we already made up our mind what it must be. And then we have expectations. And that expectations, if it's not met, we are disappointed. And then it was a bad experience. If the expectations is met, it was a good experience. So we live according to this program, and the program determines also our happiness and unhappiness, the beauty of life and the ugliness of life. And we miss just experiencing life as it is. So sitting here, if you have to think, like I said last week, your story, we're going to build this next few weeks, we build this thing, okay, taking a little bit deeper layers of it into it. Last week was all about the story that we convince ourselves. What's my name? It's also connected to what you believe, is it not? Now we go a little bit, where does this belief system come from? How did I get it? Who's this I that holds on to it? It's the mind. It's the mind holding on, and the mind trying to make sense. And all the mind can do is taking things from the past to say, hey, this is what's happening right now. Is that what was in the past happening right now? No, it's not. It can't. This is now. It's not the past. But yet we convince ourselves that we have to act like we have in the past. We have to see like we have seen in the past. And that's all programming. I hope it makes sense. Or do I lose you? So we were programmed, and I want you this morning to realize that we all were programmed. We were programmed from we were children. Have you ever had any beliefs when you were children that was confining you that you hate people? Or were you quite open? I talk about a certain stage until imprinted things came. If you look at children, if you put them together in a waiting room, they play with each other. They don't sit and judge each other because of things. They don't go and ask, hey, from which church are you? Where do you stay? What work do you do? Before I decide if I'm going to mingle with you or not. Doesn't happen, is it not? Doesn't matter from where you are, what your status is, what race you are, nothing matters. They open. And then we get imprinted. And then we form our identity and we think this is us and this is how life must be. And we bring a certain experience, but we miss experiencing for yourself. We live now from other people's experiences, or what they were told to experience. Sometimes it was not even their experience. They were also just handing over the package from generation to generation, the box of beliefs. And to really experience life for yourself, you have to sometimes let go and realize the box is not you. You're bigger than that box. There's more to you than the box. The I that I feel I am is not supposed to be my mind. The I is the essence. So we have this whole thing that I believe. Does belief change? Have you witnessed it? I mean, who of you, yes, believed in Christmas Father? When you were young? Briefly, for a little while. Until you saw he has got the same shoes as your dad. Who believed in the Tooth Fairy? Huh? Remember, I'm using now children things. Okay, but because I want you, how many of your beliefs change over years? Did the I change? Did the I change? We will have two groups that will say, the one say, no, the I stayed the same. The other one says the I changed. Okay, yes, the two things. It depends to what we refer. If we refer to the I as mind, yes, it changed. If you connect to the mind as the I, yes, it changed. But if you connect to the essence, it can't change. Because the essence doesn't hold beliefs. Do you realize that? Your essence does not hold beliefs. The mind holds belief. You know, one of the great teachers in America that a few years back was Ram Dass. I love his work and things he said. A lot of people don't understand because of things he said, but beautiful things. Okay, one of the most beautiful things that he said, every human being expression is actually a door. Each one sitting here is a door. And the door is the way that the divine, the essence, is gazing into this world. Other words, everyone sitting here is the eyes of the divine, experiencing, taking in. But because we come to in this world that we have a body and a mind to fully experience the realm that we are in, we connect to that so much that we forget. I'm more than the body. I'm more than the mind. And we get so stuck to the identity of the body and the mind that it's very hard for us to switch experience to essence, just to allow everything and experience things just as it is. That's the most difficult thing. We always want to intervene, is it not? We always want to correct. We always want to prove. And what we want to correct, what we want to prove, is not the essence. We want to prove the patterns in the mind, the thoughts, the beliefs is correct. Is it not? That's where all the drama comes from. It's me trying to protect my beliefs. Why do I protect my beliefs so much? Because I believe it's me. We refer to it as I. Is it not? But when we look at it, like Ram Dass says, that everyone sitting here is a doorway, a different door that divinity is staring through. Then we can allow each other space. We can realize, yes, the others is programming, and the programming was supposed to be for functioning, and there's nothing wrong with functioning. There's nothing wrong with having thoughts. There's nothing big wrong with certain beliefs. There's good beliefs and bad beliefs. We have to realize that also. Nothing wrong with belief. But if we make our identity the belief, we identify with the wrong thing as the I. Does it make sense? Is it confusing? Is it simple? You see, the biggest problem when we talk about all humanity and it comes to belief, they think their belief is the essence. They believe their truth is also the essence. And then what they actually refer to is programming. So we have to make a clear shift from programming, identifying fully with the mind, and realize I have a mind, but the mind is not me. And moving the perspective to essence. We say it so many times. We say it over and over in so many ways. But if we want a more beautiful experience, is to let go of standing and thinking your beliefs is like this mat. It's a standing point. And I'm defending my standing point because this is me. Then we don't experience true freedom because you're confined to your standing point. And as soon as you climb off it, you feel somebody is going to take it over. Now you don't know who you are. And that's where the sense of losing of identity in some people take place. They feel they lose themselves. They're not losing themselves. You cannot lose yourself. They are losing the structure of a belief system that is not working anymore. And if we see it like that, then the process becomes easier. Because now it's not me that something is wrong with. I realize the structure, the programming that was handed to me is not the full thing. Yes, it points to certain things, but it's not it. Is it not? Your mind is trying to point to essence, but it is not the essence. Is it not? The mind is trying to point you to who you really are. And then it got confused, thinking it is you. Is it not? How long do we think we keep certain thoughts? So it can be years. It depends on the thought. Is it not?
Depends on the usefulness.
Also, if it's immediately necessary for it or letting go, is it there? So, and a lot of times, something happened and it makes a certain impact in somebody's life that thought stays for years and for some their lifetime. Okay? If something dramatic happens to you, a lot of people, then they suddenly stay with that situation, the rest. They stay with that fear, that experience, and they carry it for all their lives. We call it also the victim. The victim is there then the whole of their lives. Are you that one situation that happened? Is that your life? Or was it the event? But your mind is trying to tell you, that is you. That is you now. You see how it plays off? And we still think that the I, not realizing that I is mostly what we think is the mind. And we not refer to the essence. We missed it. And this is the homework, is to go and sit. How many of what you think you are is the mind thinking that's who you are? That's the homework. That's the deeper inquiry. That's where we have to go to dissolve the illusions that we live in, because this programming brings illusions. Is it not? Like the illusion of a victim. Are you now a victim because of what happened 6 years ago? No, you can't be, because it's not happening right now. It's only the mind hanging onto a program, a victim program, and that is making you a victim. You are a victim actually of your own mind. Not of the situation anymore. That situation is long gone. Is it not? So we become victims of the mind. Because we identify with the mind, and the I we think is the mind, therefore we are the victim. But as soon as we realize we are not the programming, we are not the thoughts, that's not the real you. That is just things passing through. It's supposed to pass through. Where does it come from? Where does thoughts come from? You know, have you ever started to inquire about that? Where does thoughts come from? You know, this is one of the biggest yogi explorations in self-inquiry, is to watch where does thoughts come from? Where does it arise from? And you will be quite surprised. A lot of people say it's the environment. Yes, it plays a little role in it. But most of it just appears. Suddenly it's there. It just appears. So make it that thoughts are wrong. No. But it's what you believe about the thoughts. If you identify with it, if you build your identity around it, you are living in an illusion. And that illusion can cause a lot of suffering. Is it not? And the realization of that brings freedom. Because a lot of people walk with ideas, I am this, I am this. And to realize that I that they refer to is the mind, and I'm not the mind, so I can't be that. That brings a freedom. That dissolves the illusion. Does it mean you will start to see everything without the mind? No. But you will realize it's the mind. It's good. You know, there's the story of the guy that went to the doctor and says, "Yo, doctor, I don't know. I have pains all over. If I press here, it's very sore. If I press here, it's very sore." You all know that joke. If I press here, it's very sore. I don't know what it is. You know, I can touch everywhere and it's sore. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've never experienced something like that. So the doctor says, "Give me your finger, let's see." Because it's the finger that's sore. You hear what I'm saying? So we have programs in the mind and we think that is life. No, it's the program. And yes, we are so trained to look through that program that we start to believe that program is the reality. And everything is a mess. I'm a mess. Everything is a mess. And that's not the truth. It's just the program. And as soon as we can realize that, much better, freer experience in this beauty of life. So who is this I? You see, we're not trying to dissolve the I. We try to shift the I. The I is not the mind. Although most people will tell what they actually mean when they say I. They refer to their mind, their thinking, their thoughts, their programming. But when we supposed to say I, you have to refer to something else. And here's the beauty of things. That's essence. The true you, the higher self, doesn't need opinions to survive. It doesn't need beliefs to survive. It doesn't need any belief to exist. It actually existed before beliefs. So why do we fear so much that if we let go of certain beliefs that we're going to lose ourselves? It's because of mind, thoughts, identifying with the mind. But as soon as I realize I'm not it, then the fear of it also dissolves. Is it not? Then it becomes actually easier. A simpler life. An easier life. Knowing, hey, I've got a mind. Like I have a finger, and if this finger gets sore, yes, it can be hurtful everywhere I touch because it's a finger. I have a mind. If I look through what it interprets and gives and how it was programmed, everything can be ugly. Everything can be negative. Everything can be establishing that I'm a bad person. Everything can then be showing and pointing that I'm a victim of life. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. You know, that kind of things can be pointing to it, but it's not who you really are. It is the mind. It's the mind. And as soon as we can get ourselves, and that only comes when we do self-inquiry, looking, who's that I? Where do I identify with the I? When I talk about I am presence. A lot of people will say it, I am presence, but yet again they get connected with what they believe about presence in their mind, and they connect to that. Then they don't connect to what is presence, but the idea of presence. And isn't that how we live our lives sometimes? We're living according to an idea that we have about ourselves, about this world, and not really living it as it is. But we live so much after the idea that was implanted, how life must be. Do I talk too much? Does it make sense? What does awareness, your essence, does it believe anything? I said no. So what does it do? It just observes. The doorway, like Ramdam says, the doorway that is looking, it's observing. Are you taught how to observe? Are you taught to judge? Just a question that I want to leave you with. Go and think about it. You know, we don't realize how we were taught that we need to react. We need to believe. We need to do. You can't believe nothing. It's impossible. You have to have an opinion. Why? So that I can differ from it. Why? So that we can have a fight. Why? Because somebody needs to be right. Why? Because it has to be me. Is it not? Just think about that pattern. Is that not? And that's not what it's supposed to be. You are the doorway that needs to observe.